Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is 13 Dragon Blade coming at you with a hero deck profile. I'm gonna just jump straight into it. It's a deck that has been ripping the meta right now, and I'll be honest with you, I like having Dark Law on the field, so I'm gonna just start us off. 3 Shadow Mists. It's a dude, not a chick. Your Searcher searches your heroes if it's sent to the graveyard, and you can use its other ability to search out a quick play spell card, which is kind of useful because this entire deck is basically searching. 3 Bubbleman, easy special summon, used for Absolute Zero, used for acid targets, and vapor targets, because we do run vapor, and we have the form change just to supplement it. This is a form change, mass change deck, which is very rare, but I do like having the form change because it helps set up different plays during the battle phase. Double Blazeman, you run the 1 poly to supplement it. Its effect is really good. You usually use one to search out the poly, and the other one to dump Shadow Mist. Then Shadow Mist searches you a hero, and you can make a Dark Law with him, which is plussing for days. So, yes, 2 Blazemen. Then 1 Alias, because it's a light target, you use it for Shining, and it's a little bit good to have. You can normal summon it, get 1900. You usually use it for Shining if there's something big on the field and you have your heroes in your graveyard. That's what he's used for. Then 2 Goblinbergs, because it helps bring out Shadow Mist and use its effect. It's really good to have a first turn play with this and Rhoda in hand, because you could just search out the Shadow Mist and you know you have Dark Law. And 1 Monk. I don't like playing 2. Every time I draw it, it's dead. I usually draw it with my Goblinbergs anyway, so it's just really dead. I don't like having it at 2 like most people have it, and I think it's actually kind of wasteful to have it. You can't really search it, and it's not really that good. Everything else is searchable by Rhoda but him, and I don't really like it. It's just basically another hero lives, and that's another card that I'm kind of iffy about. I had to take out Solemn Warning just to put in the other one in there. So yeah, that was the monsters. That was just 12 monsters. A lot of spells. Don't ask me the count because it's a lot. Your search cards, 3 Rhoda and 1 E-Call. Just, that's all you need. I used to have 2 E-Calls and 3 Rhodas, but I think this is plausible now that I took out the other. Now that I took out the other Summoner Monk. You only really need these cards because they just help search your heroes, and it's mandatory. You need to have them. 3 mass changes to bring out all of your masked heroes and to basically set up plays. It's mandatory to have it 3. Every hero deck does. 2 form change. I don't believe in 3. I think 3 is way too cloggy. 2 is just fine. You don't want to draw it all the time, and you want to set it so they can either bait it with an MST, you could trick them, chain to it, and use it during the battle phase. You could use some pretty nice, pretty sweet tricks with Anki. Whenever he kills something, if you know they have more monsters, you could search this out. You can form change into Diane, kill another monster, and special summon Shadow Mist just because you can. It's really, really nice. And then, of course, you have your play set up for a Dark Law because you can use Shadow Mist effect to search out another quick play chain spell card. 2 Miracle Fusion. I used to run 3. 3 was a terrible idea. 2 is just fine. It helps you bring out your other fusions, Absolute Zero, Nova Master, and Shining, because those are the only ones you make. Also helps with having form change, so you could form change those and basically, do the opponent. No, I'm gonna get hell for this. I really don't care. 2 hero lives. I don't like paying life points, so this is just kind of an iffy choice. I used to have the warning, and I had just one of these and a warning, and I was like, well, let me take out a warning and put another one of these. I think that's more viable. So, in case I have to spend a lot of points, I'd rather spend it on this where I know I can get a search, rather than spending it on warning to stop a summon. Now, warning is good in a hero deck, don't get me wrong, but I just don't like having this at 3. I think it's really, really unnecessary. And I don't run the 2 Summoner Monk anyway, so it doesn't really benefit me. I'm testing this because my friend decided to main D-Prison against this deck because he can't stand Darklaw. Um, 2 Forbidden Lance because Forbidden Lance is really good right now. It's just an out to D-Prison, and it's also an out to Mirror Force, all that janky stuff. It's annoying. You could also use it as a battle trap. 2 MST, I would love to run 3, but this is not my Traptrix hands. So yeah, 2 is just fine. You could use it and kill whatever they have. And then we have 1 Poly, because you could search it with Blazeman. Use 1 Blazeman to search this. You can pitch dead heroes in your hand, and you could make them live so you can Miracle Fusion again and bring out 2 fusions on the same turn. A safe bet would be to play this first, see if it goes through, bring out Nova Master or something so they're worried about what they're going to get hit with, and swing with Nova Master freely, you know, try to bait out some stuff. It just helps. They expect it, so you should always have just that 1 Poly. 1 Mass Charge, I'm sad I had to cut this to 1. It's a good card and all, but I usually only saw myself using 1. If I did use 2, you know, I mean, it was good and everything. But for the second choice, I made this choice, and I'm kind of glad I made it, is Book. Book is good. It's a slap to the face to a lot of different things. You can save yourself from D-Prison. You can save yourself from battle traps sometimes. You can save yourself from Mirror Force. It's nice to be able to save yourself, and as well as Book tuners. It's just nice to have, and it's also good to sterilize a summon, basically. They have to waste a Forbidden Lance to try to stop this from going through, and they're usually just going to let it go through. And 1 Dark Hole, because just in case 0 can't get the job done, you have that. Alright, so that's all the spells. There's a lot. I'm not going to go into the issue of getting them all. This is a tech I'm trying, and I'm glad I'm trying it out. Huge Revolution is over. It's a really good card. A lot of people don't even expect it now. It used to be big back when it first came out. It's basically a Solemn Judgment, as long as they destroy 2 or more cards. Raigeki is out, you know, there's 2 Dark Holes, there's a couple of cards that have Mass Destruction. It's just nice to be able to say no, punish them, and banish a card. Banishing is very, very prominent, and the deck already banishes enough with Darklaw, so you could use this to help put the pressure on the board to all their mass destruction. And trust me, people are running Mirror Force this format. 1 Bottomless because it's bottomless. Compulsory over a 3rd Mirror Force. I do like it a little better than Mirror Force, just to get rid of the ones that can't be destroyed, like Shadal Witna, because that bitch is annoying. Love compulsing her. 2 Mirror Force. Battle traps are a thing. You have to run it for this deck because you need to have a lot of things to protect your Darklaw, and protecting that Darklaw is just one of the many things that you could do. This just helps for security. Same reason behind the Fiendish Chains, security, to keep the Darklaw on the field and to stop all of the other annoying effects from going off. Alright, so that's 40. Now we're going to go to the extra deck. 2 Darklaw. Good first turn play, shuts down pretty much everything. Shuts down Burning Abyss, shuts down Shadows, shuts down, and absolutely wrecks Nekroz. It doesn't hurt the Quillies too much, but I think that this deck has a decent matchup against Quillies. And they already got hit, so I'm not really too worried too much about that deck, but still, Darklaw, 2, you should always have 2 of it. 3 is too cloggy, and you need room for your other hero fusions. The 1 Vapor, because you can form change with Darklaw into Vapor. They don't expect it. They usually have to use Raigeki or Dark Hole to get rid of Vapor. It's just nice to be able to do that. So they have, you know, like again I say, you know, Shadows and all that stuff. Like to blow your stuff up. It's actually also nice to chain form change, make this guy after they use Squigmata. They don't have a target, and you get to bring this guy out for free pretty much. And you don't have to worry about the destruction effects, which is nice. A Koga, because we do run Alias, you do form change of this quite often. If they overextend, they have a huge board. You can punish them with this guy. He can get pretty big. He gains 500 for every monster, so that is 25 he can gain to become a 5,000 beater. It is really, really nuts. He can also decrease the attack by banishing an elemental hero and swing over whatever he's doing. He can get pretty big, like I said, as long as they overextend. One acid's mandatory. It's too good. Acid just decreases the attack power, which a lot of people forget that ability. Decreases their attack power by each face-up monster by 300 and destroys all spells and traps on the field. Which is... Actually, no. Yeah, it's just your opponent control, so it's a Harpy's Feather Duster. One Anki, because this guy's really nutty. Especially during the battle phase, you can grab Form Change and start changing him into Diane, and then Diane, searches out another one, special summons the Shadow Mist, a lot of stupid stuff Anki can do. Anki's pretty nutty when you make him. You can also swing over and not have to worry about big monsters. Like, if the monster's too big, you can just hit for that extra damage and put pressure on them, having them have to waste another trap on this guy, and then form change into something else and just, making them waste into something. Form change just allows you to dodge a lot of different things, which is nice. The Anki play you supplement with Diane. You have Anki run over something. If they have another monster, you form change it to Diane. If not, then you just, save the form change, or you can get a mass change. It doesn't really matter. You have a lot of options. She usually brings out Shadow Mist, but you can also bring out a bunch of other stuff. You could bring out Bubbleman. You could bring out the Alias if you want to. And you could also bring out, what is it? No, Blazeman. Then Blazeman could get you a Poly if you don't have it already. It's just nice. And she's got a lot of defense. She's got 3,000. She's pretty big. She's 28. Shining, he can get pretty big when you use Miracle. And, yeah, you just use Miracle Fusion. When you make your zeros, you make him, and then he's 32. He can get pretty big. One Nova Master, because we do have Blazeman here. You can make him. Basically, your Poly is your other Miracle Fusion, so you only need to run two Miracle Fusions and just have the one Poly you could use with Blazeman. It's just nice to be able to have him kill something, draw a card. It's nice to have the draw power. Two Absolute Zeros, your Raigeki of the deck. You form change out of him, then you bring out Acid, you kill all their back row, and kill all their monsters. It's really, really nice. It also helps you allow it to Miracle for it later, or of course to Poly with it later. One Blade Armor Ninja, because it helps with OTKs if you know that you have nothing left and your fusions, your good ones, might be all gone. You could use your Xseeds. Same factor between this. 4,000 to the face is really nice to be able to clear the board and put pressure on your opponent. Another Blade Armor Ninja mini one, basically 38 to the face is nice, and it can also change itself to defense to protect a monster as long as it's in attack position. And lastly, it's not Castel, but it's an Abyss Dweller. Until I get the Castel, this is my supplement. I'm probably just gonna switch out the Samurai for it. The Samurai's pretty much my supplement before I get the Castel. I like Abyss Dweller in this deck. You can make it live with two Bubblemans, give it its attack boost, and you can use Absolute Zero to gain more attack off of it. So it's a little retarded, If you're playing a hero mirror match, you make Absolute Zero, you make this guy, it's kind of bad. For them anyway. But yeah, this I'm thinking about just putting for the Castel, keeping the Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller's too good not to run. So yes, that is the deck. Card of the night is Shadow Mist. This is 13 Dragon Blade signing off.